Hey everybody, it's me, Rachel, your favorite computer-based art teacher. I wanted to make sure you knew kind of after we had that design session on Thursday at the Madison Senior Center how you can move forward. I will be back on Friday, so this week your main focus is to be creating some different designs for the mural. Each one of you is sort of in charge of creating a different idea. And then the Madison Senior Center staff's going to return on Monday next week. And you're going to have a chance to pitch your designs to them. And then they're going to select either one or potentially parts of a couple different ones for us to create a final design. So I'm really excited about this process. I hope you are too. I wanted to take you through the rubric so you kind of know what I'm actually assessing, what I'm grading, and then show you some examples that might help with getting started. And then really this week is about creating a visual representation of your idea for the mural so the Senior Center can kind of picture it. And it needs to incorporate some of the designs that the participants gave us on Thursday. So I'll be going through this on the rubric with you guys. So here is the rubric. I'm just going to read through it. Basically, the big goal is using the information the Senior Center presented us as needs for the mural, which was the values and that idea of aging, healthy aging, as well as the images from the design sessions with the participants that we just had on Thursday. Create an individual concept for the 2019-2020 Senior Center mural. So by individual, that means each one of you is creating a different concept. That way it just gives them a lot of ideas so that they can kind of pick which one they are responding to the best. You're going to create a visual to assist in explaining your idea, and then you're going to pitch this idea to the Senior Center staff and participate in listening to one another's pitch in a non-judgmental manner and supportive manner, which you guys will be fantastic at. You're really great at that. The Senior Center staff will select the pitch to use to create the design of the mural. And I would suggest you may want to do research on how artists lay out murals to get ideas. So the big ideas of this is how do we collaborate to create strong works of art? So collaboration in this case is using images from other artists, images that you might come up with. How can we all work together to create a really strong work of art? And then we're going to practice creating concept design, and our collaboration skills is the greatest purpose. So in terms of the requirements, your mural concept art must include these pieces. It needs to include at least one element from the list of what the Madison Senior Center wanted. It needs to include imagery from the design session with participants. Ideally, you pull in as much as you can. That makes sense. A visual that includes the main elements of the mural and color. So you're creating a visual that they can see and picture what the mural potentially would look like that has the main elements you've thought through. It should have a clear idea or theme behind it that can be explained. So when they come, you're like, I'm thinking about aging in terms of a tree, and the roots have the words of the values. So it's something you can explain, right? Your presentation of the mural idea and visual will be pitched to the Madison Senior Center staff, and that we actively listen during the presentations. So that's the main goal of the project. So here's the rubric. It's basically everything I just described. The big thing is each of you are creating an individual idea. You're incorporating imagery from the Madison Senior Center participants. You'll have a pitch with the visual, and we'll actively listen while we're pitching. And again, they are coming next week, Monday. I'll be back Friday, so you really want most of your pitch ready to go so I can see it on Friday and give you some feedback. All right. So before you jump into working today on creating your idea of for the mural, here's some examples that I think might help you think through it. Some things, this is one right on the north side of Madison, is sometimes the best way to do a mural is actually to have really bold subjects. So here you have a really big flower, you have kind of a compass shape, and there's rocks and roots, but there's lots of things hidden within kind of the rocks and roots, and the background is just really bold. So having too much going on a mural often creates too busy of an effect. So keeping it strong and bold. This one, you can see patterning is really helpful to just create like a really dramatic effect. And then there's lots and lots of color. So that might be another way to go. This one has lots of abstraction, but it's creating kind of a surrealistic scene. So you've got a really big figure, then really small birds. You can see the size of the person at the bottom. Their canvas was very large. This is the side of a building. Ours is a lot smaller, so that gives you a sense if you're doing too many figures or too many things going on, it's going to be very difficult because it'll be so small. So thinking about scale of things and keeping them simple and bold is what really leads to the best mural. This one also has repetitive shapes, which I think can help kind of make visual interest in your mural. So this one is very simple, actually. It's just, butterfly wings, but it has text in the middle. So you may want to think about, am I going to use text in this? Am I not? The Madison Senior Center said they didn't really want the name of the place, but maybe the different values could be hidden within the mural, so something to think about for that. And this one I think is just a good example of color, like really using it to make something feel bold. It also has lots of different patterning. It's sort of alluding to waves and fish, but then it has other organic shapes hidden in it. So something to think about. Going natural is sometimes a great way to go for a mural. So some strong mural traits that you may want to think about incorporating in yours. Am I going to have any symbolism or messaging? You definitely are going to want an idea for your mural that represents, healthy aging and some of the values of the Madison Senior Center. Strong color is often a good way to go. It should have a background. So how are we breaking up the space around some of the subjects in the mural? It should definitely be positively community oriented and of course appropriate. When you go to do your pitch, remember you want one element from the Madison Senior Center's want list. You want visual elements from the design session. You're going to make an actual mock-up that includes color, and that could include literally collaging and drawings from the design session or using those images to redraw and redesign. And it should have a bigger meaning that you're trying to communicate. So hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick demo to just model for you guys how I went through the process of figuring out how to do a mural design for this project. Hopefully it'll be helpful to you. The first thing I did when I started was I went through, there's a packet of all of the different drawings that the participants made. They're in the Turn-In Artwork mural drawer, so if you go by the drawers where everyone keeps their artwork, and you usually turn in your stuff, if you pull out the one that says mural, everyone has one with their name on it. And you can see I just went through and I just picked out the designs that I really responded to. I really liked the sketch of the equal sign. The figures dancing I really responded to. I really like this idea of the plant kind of growing and then shriveling up a little bit to just symbolize aging very subtly. I really like the yoga figure. I really liked the honeybees. So I just went through, picked out some things. I really like the idea of grandchildren and their grandparents and how that's really important to attendance of the senior center. I really liked these goofy little hands. So again, I just went through and picked the images that I really responded to visually, very positively. And then the next thing I did was just I started doing some sketching. You're probably not going to get the design that's perfect the first time, but you can see very lightly I started playing with an elderly figure and a young person kind of together. The person has their hand out. And then I thought in the hair of the two figures I could hide some of the images I really liked. And then I have kind of a skyline of Madison with the roots, and I think I'm going to hide some of the values of the senior center in the roots. And then I have a background. Again, you want it to be a full scene with a foreground, middle ground, background, so it feels really complete. And after I did some sketching and planning, I created kind of my final draft. So again, this is not what we're going to actually use for the mural. This is just an example, but if you really are responding to anything positively in my design, do feel free to appropriate as you would like. I will not be offended. So you can see I made it look more finished. I hid some of the drawings that I really liked kind of in the hair of the two figures. They're made, I decided, of a quilt because I thought that was kind of an interesting thing they really were into. I have the skyline of Madison and I have the equal sign kind of hidden in the Capitol. And then I have some of the values of the senior center hidden as text in the roots. and then you can see just a big bold sky with clouds just to add color and brightness. I would then go ahead and add color to this, and for the final project, we'll be able to scan your images, put them in a presentation so they can see the design really big, and then I would talk about my idea. So for this one, it was about sharing, different generations sharing, the idea of growing, and you can see kind of that decaying plant is kind of in the hair of the figure. And I would talk about some of the themes that I picked for my mural. Okay, so that's what you are going to do. Remember, each of you are creating your own individual design, so we have more ideas to give them when they come back on not this Monday, but next week Monday. The participants and the staff of the Senior Center will come back, and they'll get a chance to hear your ideas, and then they'll see which one they respond to positively. So good luck, you guys. If you're really stuck, feel free to email me. I'll have my computer with me all week long. If you're stuck and you can't come up with an idea, I'd be happy to communicate with you and help you. And I'm so excited to see what you came up with on Friday when I'm back.